Alright. Cled. This is gonna end horribly for me.
Cled.
Cled.
What mastery are you on him right now?
2.
Rip?
I never really get a chance to because I more so pick them just when I want to. And not give too much of a fuck about Tico. As he kind of needs a. If I were to jungle him seriously, I'd be needing to pick him into comps that have already good follow up.
Yeah.
Because his ult's good. It's good for going in.
Well, duh.
Fight, but he needs follow up.
And you have to have Cled not run past the enemy team, just running charge!
Yeah.
Fucking Ivern jungle, I'm screwed.
Yes, you are. You are completely fucked. What am I doing top? What am I doing with the enemy top laner? What's the enemy top laner? Come on. Come on. Hit me. Hit me. At the. Hold on a moment. Oh, no, I'm getting broken.
They think it's Cled jungle. Joke's on them!
Yes, they are. Holy shit, I'm up to 3 viewers? What the fuck? What is this?
Who are they? You can click on the viewer list.
Just showing me on the viewer list.
That means they must not have an account.
Maybe. Hello, non-count bearing people. Holy shit, I'm up 4.
I have 2.
I'm winning!
And one of them is Nightbot. Thank you, Nightbot. At least you love me.
One's a bot, the other's you.
No, it doesn't count me.
It does?
Otherwise it would have said 2 earlier. Because it said 1 earlier.
Hmm. Well, I really need to figure out some other music other than Man Man to be playing when I stream. I don't know what.
Nightbot has a good playlist.
I know, I use Spotify, so yeah.
Mm.
But I'll figure that out eventually. It's alright where it is right now. Man Man's good. Man Man's a good thing to do. I feel that language I while in the sea. Oh, we're mastering Lizard. We're mastering Scarl. Let's do this. I'm gonna fail horribly.
So am I, don't worry.
Oh.
And I'm starting blue side because I don't want Ivern to take my blue and me be fucked.
Wait, that means I have to leash. Fuck. Starting Q.
I'm starting Q2. And thanks to my runes and masteries, I have 20% CDR start game, and I need it.
How the fuck do you have 20?
15% from runes and 5% from the mastery.
Jesus Christ! Why do you need that much?
Memes.
Oh, shit.
Come here, Riven. Let me hit you.
Yeah, that's right, I need to leash.
Thanks.
You're not gonna be taking that anytime soon.
No execute. Rip. See, it's faster than backing because it's only 8 seconds. Bam. Next level strat. Can't give first blood if you give it to the monsters.
The black wind howls. Right where I want you. Would you kindly?
Hey, Scuttle's actually up. Yay.
It's no use. Somebody set up a snuff bomb. This is a echo according to fly. Would you kindly?
So how's that Vigar jungle going?
Perfectly.
Well, do you how's your stack passing? Oh, oh,
Hole 14.
Yeah, there you go. You got a 14 AP.
I've accepted this game as meme status.
Your journey ends here, hero. Party launch detected.
Alright, Rhythm, just push it up. Push it up. Push it real good. Whoop. Hey, I'm level 6. I'm bad.
It's okay, at least you're not me.
Oh god, I'm bad.
Join me or die.
My blue buff's probably gone.
Maybe.
Come help.
Okay.
The world is
Ha We doing it?
Get him! Bam! Got that assist!
I would have gotten that. Holy shit, though. I did work.
Yee. Thanks for coming to help.
Yeah, of course. And that's Riven teleport too. Ah! Ah, stupid. Oh hey, I have a red buff now.
Nice.
true power.
Ha. No blue buff for you, Ivern. He's probably just gonna take my red instead.
My strength is unparalleled.
It's okay, I have my ultimate. Yep, there's my red gone again. I kinda figured. As long as I have blue buff.
Black wind.
Like, you should buy some freaking control wards. Put them in your jungle.
Nope.
I hunger.
Oh god, I'm gonna go help GP.
Watch out! Daisy's really protective of me. The forest protects us all.
Oh, there she is.
Ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
This isn't even my final form. My patience is wearing thin. I am stronger. Finish them. All the cake is gone. Listen.
Oh, I was wrong. He didn't take my red buff. It just hadn't spawned yet.
Hmm?
What damage? Grows. You are the
I have runic echoes. Go me.
Join me or die.
Killing spree. Shut down.
I got 2 gums and a cheese. Cheese, high five.
Well, I actually can't believe I got
Guys?
that kill though.
I will create a monument to non-existence.
Enemy killing spree. Shut down.
Yeah, you got that.
My red.
Enemy has been slain.
Wow. I like the splits.
Well, I got Zed off mid and that burned his flash.
Would you kindly? What is a champion?
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Yay.
Pixels.
Killing spree.
Riven's over here.
Killing spree.
I am all powerful.
Success!
Mm-hmm.
See, it was just a ploy to reset the buffs on you.
Rampage.
This isn't even my final form. I will create a monument to non-existence.
Oh God! Ah! Oh God! I'm up. I'm running.
I am awake.
Bye. See you. Fare thee well, GP, and you survive. Okay.
Nope.
It's no use. Do you realize who you're dealing with?
Katsui,
Yes?
how am I doing so well?
I don't know, you're good at Kled!
How am I good at Kled? Is it all the jungling?
How am I do I technically have a positive KDA? The world may never know.
No, no, you don't.
Positive KDA?
You don't.
Kills, deaths, and assists. I have 7 total kill participation and only 5 deaths.
A battle you have no chance of winning.
A summoner has disconnected.
Oh, that's not good.
Would you kindly? Hardly launched attack. Would you kindly stop moving?
Flash rank 4 mastery as I leave.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Quad damage! Vega will knock you all down!
Oh wait, Ivern's dead.
How did he die?
GP.
Shut down.
Finish them! Right where I want you. Vengeance shall be mine!
Out of back. Where the fuck out?
Strength.
Are they still not taking bot? Okay, Ivern's up here now.
What What is a champion? A miserable pile of pixels.
You have slain an enemy.
Luckily, I had the delete button. I actually have a better score than Ivern, though.
Double kill. Your turret has been destroyed.
Don't get mad. Get sadistic.
I will stop Riven.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
All the cake is gone. Gross.
Killing spree.
Oh.
Killing spree.
My patience is wearing thin.
An enemy has been slain.
The black wind howls.
Rampage.
I'm thinking.
What is a champion? A miserable
I kind of feel sorry for this enemy team, but good for them for sticking to it. Hey.
Yeah.
grows. My patience is wearing thin. I am stronger. Boil in mud, you middling fool.
Gotcha! Another!
Mm. Did they just use their redemption to... Yeah, Ivan just tried to use his redemption to hear this.
Perfect use of redemption.
Cody!
Two gums and a shake!
An enemy has been slain.
wind howl.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Shut down. Unstoppable. Godlike.
Do you realize who you're dealing with?
I totally carried this game.
Double kill.
Your GP did nothing. It was entirely the Vygar jungle that won us this game.
This is all going according to plan. Pardon your
Team has destroyed a turret.
shall reign.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
I want the man lean for ye.
Listen.
After this, I'm actually going to play Vygar mid, because I like Vygar, and that's the main reason I did this.
Wow.
I just wanted to meme it up before we actually played games.
Damn meme lord.
Would you kindly?
Dominating.
That Caitlyn forgot about the second activation of E. I follow you anywhere, bitch! I have so much health.
Vygar is coming, friends! Your carry is here!
Destroyed an inhibitor.
Memes.
Memes. Oh, I got a key. A key fragment. Okay, so I can apparently play Kled. He's apparently a top lane that I can play.
At least against Riven, which isn't saying much.
I'm almost Mastery 3. Oh, Jesus, 9, 1, and 10. Loot. TPA Mundo. I already own you. Alright, let's see. Shit, reroll I don't want. Yes, I do actually. Roll TPA Mundo, Special Weapons Zach, and Mad Titans Ziggs, because they all suck. The champions are awesome, but I have better skins. Orange Essence. Really? And Vizier Malzahar. Uh, yeah. That's how to do this. I should be right back.
Listen, I had to drop the current video I was making, because everyone's talking about this PewDiePie shit that's going down right now, and I want to chime in too. And not just because I have an opinion on it like
Send them
everyone else,
back.
right? But
Away we go.
Okay.
Now listen, everyone loves some internet justice, and I think we can all agree that we'd love to see the Wall Street Journal get some.
I got me some jalapeno cheddar popcorn.
Nice.
I'll be able to do
Pretty
just
awesome.
that. But before I tell you all my master plan, right, let me give my views on the situation as a whole. Now, I'm sure we all know what's happened with PewDiePie, right? But just to recap it in a sentence or two, popular YouTuber PewDiePie has shown some Hitler-related stuff in past videos before. And he's shown some stuff about Jews that some might see as not overly nice. However, here comes the Wall Street Journal to the rescue, who saw these jokes, some of which could be seen as a little distasteful, and they did what any respectable news media outlet would do. They gave PewDiePie a platform to defend himself. No, I'm just joking, mate. They started branding PewDiePie as a Jew-hating racist Ku Klux Klan Grand Dragon who hates old people, molests children, and kicks dogs for fun. Fucking hell, that's a bit of a fucking overreaction, don't you think? And all of this because he talked about and showed Hitler a few times. Well, in that case, right, they must fucking hate the History Channel then. Listen, the Wall Street Journal even went as far as to get journalists to go to his fucking house and try to harass him there. And you thought Jehovah's Witnesses were annoying. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Can a man not even hate on Jews in the privacy of his own home anymore? Listen, the Wall Street Journal, along with other news outlets, are, for some reason, right, bending over backwards to make PewDiePie out to be a bad person by totally ignoring the things that show he's actually a good person. Like, for example, right, do you think they're gonna post that PewDiePie raised over $1 million for charity just a few months ago and is a good person? Nope! They'd rather paint him as a bad person and say he's a fucking cunt Nazi because there's one Nazi group somewhere on Earth that kinda likes him. In the follow-up pieces they wrote, right, are they gonna point out how PewDiePie said he doesn't support those hate groups at all? No! Of course not, mate! They'd rather point out how PewDiePie is complaining about how the media is portraying him unfairly and using that to make comparisons between him and Donald Trump. Holy shit, man! PewDiePie seriously pissed someone at the Wall Street Journal off, hasn't he? What the hell did you do, Felix? Fuck the owner's wife or something? PewDiePie would be something that I'd be all for, right? If PewDiePie actually was the racist and bad person that they're making him out to be. But here's the important part, right? He's not. Listen, it's pretty fucking clear that the Wall Street Journal and the other media outlets that are bashing him are cherry-picking which points they say, right? To twist them and show PewDiePie in a bad light, whilst completely ignoring all the good things about him. And what the hell, man? To go as far as to actually imply that he's an anti-Semite? Come on, man. You guys are being a bit disingenuous, don't you think? I don't understand. Why can't you guys just be honest? Why can't you guys just tell the story without any bias or agenda? Like, is that against the Wall Street Journal policy or something? Like, I get that you guys have a journalistic agenda and you don't like it, right? And I also get that you guys are trying your hardest to get other people to not like him too, but to discredit his charity work and his character by implying that he's an anti-Semite and a legit Nazi for what were very clearly jokes, that's borderline slander.
There's a lofty goal there somewhere, but if you use the tactics of dishonesty and slander and smearing and all that to get there, it's not good. It's not good.
Journalistic integrity at its finest. I'm sure you'll all agree. To judge PewDiePie as a person based on his fucking jokes is kinda stupid. And let's not forget, right, that one of your journalistic team that disagreed with PewDiePie's anti-Semitic jokes so much likes to make anti-Semitic jokes himself.
You're banning Cassidy.
You cannot
Oh.
make this shit up, man. This is the kind of hypocritical shit that goes on.
Fucking search feature's broken.
This is what the media does, man. They fucking suck. They don't just present the facts and the truth. They only present the facts and the truth they want to show you, and they hide the ones that they don't. And the reason they do this is because they have a fucking agenda.
Look, these are tactics. I don't think it's going to stop, and I think they've learned, you know, what's that Hitler quote? Like,
We
the
must
bigger the
all
lie, the
make
more
our
people believe it.
choices.
I think they're partly operating on that.
But here's the sad part, right? In the celebrity world, what happened to PewDiePie is nothing special at all. It's actually the most normal shit ever. Listen, fuck racist jokes, right? Companies will drop celebrities they sponsor for pretty much acknowledging that race even exists. They can't take a joke, and they're so politically correct, it fucking hurts.
Are they cleaning house, or is this the PC cops run amok?
You know what it is, John. You know what it is while you're reading that paper. It's the PC cops run amok.
But the reason they're so politically correct and sensitive is because they have to be. Because if they are, the media will write stories about them and make them look bad for supporting the celebrity that they've decided that they don't like. And sadly, right, the general public tend to believe fucking anything that the news tells them.
Actually control exactly what people think, and that is our job.
People will believe whatever they say so much that the news can pretty much control what people think. Meaning that if they want people to believe that someone who raised over $1 million for charity is actually an asshole, they can pull it off. Seriously, some people are so fucking dumb, right? As long as there's a news source, they'll believe anything they say. Like, they could say that PewDiePie recently left his girlfriend to be in a gay relationship with YouTuber Grade A Under A, and a ton of people would actually believe that shit. So it is kind of shitty, right? But we can't blame Disney or YouTube for distancing themselves from PewDiePie. Because if they hadn't, right, the Wall Street Journal could have very well written negative stories about them as well. And that is bad for business because the Wall Street Journal is a well-respected news outlet. Or should I say, was a well-respected news outlet. One thing that surprised some people, including PewDiePie himself, is that a big, well-respected news organization like the Wall Street Journal is for some reason doing this bullshit undeserved smear campaign on someone like this.
I'm not joking. The Wall Street Journal did this. It's the most absurd thing I have ever heard. Like, maybe the Sun. Maybe the Sun.
Well, guess what? The Sun, which is not a well-respected news outlet, and is the example that PewDiePie gave as a shit news source, is owned by
That's
Rupert
a lot of
Murdoch.
annoying,
And
and
the Wall
I'm
Street
gonna have
Journal,
to be our solo tank.
surprise,
Okay, don't
surprise,
have to.
is also owned by Rupert Murdoch. And when you hear that fact, it makes all this shit make a lot more sense. Do you know what I mean? Just a
Oh,
little
jeez.
something to keep in mind for the future. But with all this PewDiePie stuff going on, right, there's a bigger message to keep in mind here. Yes, PewDiePie is getting fucked over unfairly, and it sucks. But the bigger lesson here is this. The fucking news isn't always as trustworthy as we'd like to believe. Which means that, yes, Donald Trump was kind of onto something.
Fuck around and get your shit popped, nigga. Flip flop, nigga.
And sadly, right, this PewDiePie shit isn't even the first time that the media has gone out of their way
Okay.
to pressure a company to drop someone.
I can go Cinderhulk Frozen Mallet.
Sad, man. It's fucking bullshit that just one miserable wanker in the media can
Yeah.
fuck something good up for someone who doesn't deserve to lose it. And that's what these three miserable old cunts at the Wall Street Journal are trying to do to PewDiePie now. These three journalists are trying to smear and ruin the reputation of a charitable YouTube comedian for pretty much doing exactly the same thing that one of the three journalists
Actually, no, I might have to go
What fucking
Black
sense
Sleeper
does that make?
Thunderhulk.
If, in your mind, right, a comedian isn't allowed to make
excuse
those
me.
kind of jokes, then what the fuck is a journalist doing that shit for? Out of a comedian and a journalist, who's in more of a position to be making racial jokes? Yeah, not you, Ben Fritz. So you can shut your fucking mouth, can't you, mate? Given that one of you three dickheads just
Oh, yeah, I
tweeted
want
shit like
Black
this,
Cleaver Thunderhulk.
don't hold PewDiePie to a standard that you don't live up to yourself, dickhead.
Come on, take something, shake something, break something, stop.
Fuck the Wall Street Journal.
I'm literally gonna be relying on
Exaggerated bullshit they want about
the entire
PewDiePie.
team to deal the
What
damage,
happens
so
to
I won't be
right? They
doing
just get
shit
away with
other
it.
than getting
And
us
that
in.
sucks. Now listen, right, I've got more to say, and I still haven't talked about my plan, right? But I'm having to cut this video short, because it's too fucking long already, and I don't want this video to be uploaded too late. But listen, right, I do have a plan that could maybe have some sort of impact to the Wall Street Journal. It's very similar to what I did exactly a year ago with my hashtag Make YouTube Great Again videos. Oh, listen, right, this fucking video's gone on too long already. But the next video that I'll make will be nothing but the plan that I have. And who the fuck knows, right? Hopefully it's a good one. See you all in the next video. Welcome to your doom. Power grows.
So what do you get when you roll up a bunch of Let's Play videos into puff pastry and bake it 400 degrees? A beauty pie! Alright, that joke was terrible. Here, let me try another. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory, the theorist channel that thankfully remained untouched by PewDiePie until today. Aw, it's like a rite of passage for a theorist channel. Now, you don't have to be a fist-bumping member of the bro army to have seen the media firestorm surrounding PewDiePie over the last week. From Disney and Maker dropping him to YouTube canceling Season 2 of Scare PewDiePie, to media outlets and alt-right groups declaring him a racist, an anti-Semite, and a hero to all Nazi kind. Now, before I go any further, I should mention that this episode is going to go
God, I love Fled.
dark places. We'll be talking
So
about
silly.
things, or more accurately, we'll be talking about other people talking about things that many people, myself included, find offensive. That's kind of the point of the episode. But TLDR, if you get triggered easily or can't approach a thoughtful, rational discussion in an objective way, and are immediately going to get offended if I say something that doesn't align with your personal belief system, well then, this episode is not an episode for you. Well, actually, it is the
Thank you,
episode
Nami.
for you. It's probably most important for you to watch it, but if I know the internet, you'll probably have some huge knee-jerk overreaction midway through and completely miss the point, so, just try not to do that. Just want a logical discussion here. You can get mad afterwards. Now, because I believe in context in situations like this, unlike some people, WSJ, let me outline the situation for clarity, even though you've probably heard it like 15 times by now. Most of the backlash can be traced to a couple recent PewDiePie videos. In one, he uses the online freelancing website Fiverr to hire 2 men in India who say they'll write anything on a sign and dance with it. So, he asks them to write "Death to all Jews, subscribe to Keemstar" on a sign, and guess what? They do. PewDiePie reacts thusly.
I am sorry. I didn't think they would actually do it. I feel partially responsible, but just I didn't think they would.
His follow-up video to that one features a guy who looks and dresses like Jesus who'll say anything that he's paid to. And PewDiePie featured a video of him saying,
Jesus here. just want to let you all know that Hitler did absolutely nothing wrong.
Now, out of any context, these are obviously horrible sentiments, but the refrain of PewDiePie and his defenders is that they were supposed to be taken as jokes. And let me make my thoughts perfectly clear on this issue from the
Okay,
outset.
mid.
I believe Felix when he says that. I don't think he meant to do anyone any harm or to condone cruelty
Katsu?
or anything like
What?
that. Removing all
You doing okay,
context
mid?
can make
Yeah.
anything look bad if you have enough material to work with. I mean, heck, if you watch this channel regularly, you know that I've talked about satanic rituals,
Coming.
blowing up cities, and nuclear warfare enough times to leave myself open to one mighty incriminating supercut. I joke about it all the time on GT Live. There are so
rip.
many quotes out there that'll prevent me from becoming president. That little guy is ballsy, but now I'm sucking his balls.
Got stunned, so I couldn't
I suppose maybe
follow up again.
I'm 100% on Felix's side when he talks about how much the media has railroaded him, shortchanged him, and generally been a huge steaming pile of turd to online personalities. In fact, I was making rant videos about it, defending Felix 2 years ago, before it became the cool thing to do.
How dare you make fun of PewDiePie?
Hashtag called it. Oh, and then there's that other one I just did about how the media just outright lies all the time. So I would say my stance is pretty well established there. No, those aren't issues I'm most interested in today. Today, I aim to answer what differentiates a good joke
What's his name?
from a bad one. And how to successfully deliver a joke that you expect to be offensive. Because here's the thing, stuff like PewDiePie dressing in a soldier outfit and watching Hitler as a commentary on the media falsely calling him a racist, that makes sense. That joke works when not taken out of context, of course. Wall Street Journal. But those two Kyber videos that I saw obviously didn't resonate for many people, including some of Felix's biggest supporters like Jacksepticeye, Cinnamon Toast Ken,
I do not condone these types of jokes, whether they're in context or not.
and honestly, me, and many other people in the digital industry that I've spoken to, Jewish and otherwise. So when is a joke not a joke? As PewDiePie himself in his response video said.
But I would consider myself a rookie comedian.
And in case all the puns and meme references haven't tipped you off, I'm not exactly setting the world on fire with my comedy either. So I looked through some past incidents of jokes that have gone too far to see if I can find a common thread to help creators like PewDiePie push the envelope without incurring the wrath of the masses. It's a film theory on the elements of comedy, and I've identified the 5 core problems that make PewDiePie's situation go horrendously wrong. Problem number 1, it didn't play by joke rules. A lot of the people coming to the defense of PewDiePie are saying that this situation proves that political correctness has killed our ability to make jokes about offensive topics. I disagree. You can make jokes about anything, but the way that that joke is set up really matters. So let's consider 2 situations by comedians who made jokes about one of the most sensitive subjects possible. Rape. Told you I'd give you that trigger warning at the beginning for a reason. In the first situation, comedian Daniel
She
Tosh
did
was
salt ya?
performing a stand-up act in 2012 and told a few jokes about rape.
Oh, nice.
Actually, rape jokes are never funny. Tosh replied to the interruption by
I killed her first.
She's been raped by 5 guys. One of the women in the audience wrote about the incident in a Tumblr post that went viral. Tosh received a ton of heat for the joke and ultimately apologized for his actions. In the second situation, Louis C.K. told this joke in a stand-up special in 2006.
I'm not condoning rape, obviously. You should never rape anyone. Unless you have a reason, like you want to f somebody and they won't let you, in which case, what other option do you have, Ella?
Granted, this joke was told a few years before Tosh's, but there was no media firestorm, and in fact, a writer from Jezebel cited this joke as one of the right ways to make a rape joke in the aftermath of
Wait a
the
minute.
Tosh controversy.
Katsu, did you hear that?
Both jokes are made
What?
nonchalantly and are about a horrifying subject, so why does
It's
one
invisible
deserve praise
badgers.
and the other deserve praise? Well, nothing ruins a joke faster
Damn
than
brain
analyzing it,
weasels.
so let's do that. Let's start with Louis C.K. Louis' joke follows a textbook joke setup. You have a simple premise,
It's just
a
a
turn
level
on
of
that premise,
crazy.
and finally a punchline. The setup was the simple declaration that you should never rape someone. Something that, presumably, everyone in the audience is gonna agree with. The turn on that premise, then, is that rape can be justified if it has a good reason. The thought that any good reason could exist to excuse it catches the audience by surprise. This is immediately followed by the punchline, meant to show the ridiculousness of the rationale that's behind the rape. A point that he further clarifies by the sarcastic rhetorical question, what other option do you have? The ultimate butt of this joke are males feeling entitled to sex. It's all really clear without explanation. The way he presents his comments follows a clear structure that we all implicitly recognize as a joke. Tosh's joke, though, is a bit less clear. And to be fair to him, part of it is because it's an ad-libbed response to someone yelling at him from the audience. The statement, well, it sounds like she's been raped by 5 guys, lacks the setup and turn that Louis' joke has. And it's hard to see it as satirizing a particular idea. Instead, it ends up belittling a group of victims of one of the worst crimes imaginable.
Hey, what's up?
Much more like that
You
of
want blue buff?
Tosh's.
Yes, I would love a blue buff. Let me just clear this wave.
$5, but he chose to do it by belittling a group who suffered through one of the worst crimes in history. It also hurts because the inclusion of Jewish people is a complete non sequitur.
On my way.
All of a sudden, they're awkwardly used as the butt of a joke that never had anything to do with them in the first place. He's mixing a joke about race and ethnicity in with economic satire, and that's just creating a confusing mess. If PewDiePie truly wanted to satirize an economic system in which the rich can pay the destitute to do any number of terrible things that they want, he could have made that sign read any number of things, including leaving it just as subscribe to Keemstar, a frequent target on the channel and a joke that everyone would have gotten because, I mean, come on, it's Keemstar. But the joke failed in A, not setting up the premise clearly for the viewer early in the video, and B, not tying the conclusion back to the premise at the end. There was no
Somebody set us up a bomb.
sign back to the Fiverr site. Making a risky joke like that requires that all of those dots be connected. And if they are not crystal clear, then you're gonna have yourself an offended audience. Problem number 2, its source isn't seen as a comedian. YouTubers fall into a weird category when it comes to how the world sees us. Felix, like all YouTubers, plays a role on his channel. In his case, it's a role called PewDiePie. But because it's YouTube and he's doing it on a face cam in a small, intimate room talking directly to us, it's often hard to see where PewDiePie ends and Felix begins. This is especially complicated when lots of his videos feature him talking openly to the camera, or others feature him flipping in and out of character. It's a very subtle line that all YouTubers draw because the performance is very much tied to who we are, and yet, to some degree, it's all still an act. And if it's a subtle difference to us, to outside viewers who don't watch YouTube all the time, well, then forget it. They have no clue what's going on. So now compare Felix's performance medium to that earlier Louis C.K. example. He's on stage in a theater with a spotlight and a microphone. This is clearly a performance. There's an artifice to this proceeding that signals to people, I'm watching a show where this guy is trying to entertain me. Everything he says for the next 90 minutes are all part of his act. And that distinction between performer and person is very important when you're trying to make jokes that
I couldn't exhaust her.
have been known to get into hot water for insensitive Twitter jokes. The response can be multitudes worse for people who aren't comedians. Take the case of Justine Sacco. Sacco was flying from New York to South Africa in 2013 and tweeted the joke, "Going to Africa, hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding, I'm white." Justine Sacco wasn't a comedian, just a communications director for an internet media company. Irony for the win. And once a few people saw and shared that tweet around, the response got out of control. By the time Justine's plane landed in South Africa, she was the #1 trending topic on Twitter and would be fired from her job shortly afterward. Sacco was adamant that she was just joking, saying, "To me, it was so insane of a comment for anyone to make. I thought there was no way anyone could possibly think it was literal." After a while, however, she started to see the distinction and understood why it was so easy for the internet to turn on her, because they had no reason to know that she was joking. Sacco ultimately made the point that, quote, "Unfortunately, I'm not a character on South Park, or when I do business commenting on the
There we go.
epidemic of such a politically incorrect
Thanks for the blue buff back.
It's easy to draw parallels to PewDiePie here. If the masses don't see you as someone who is definitely making a joke, then what you say and what you do has a good chance of being taken quite literally. Problem number 3, it seemed like it targeted the wrong people. As we talked about earlier, PewDiePie's intent was to highlight how ridiculous Fiverr is. But to an outside observer, it could be seen as an example of punching down, the comedic term for when someone with greater power or privilege makes fun of a more marginalized person or group. In joking about taboo topics, you're going to have a much easier time hitting the perpetrators or punching up rather than the victims or punching down. Any number of comedians and non-comedians have been criticized for punching down over the years. Just last year, Jesse Waters, a correspondent for Fox News' The O'Reilly Factor, was rebuffed by the internet for mocking residents of New York City's Chinatown for their responses about the presidential election. Among the problematic parts of the segment were instances in which Waters asked these people whether they knew karate, which is of course Japanese, and asked questions about the Chinese zodiac to people who likely didn't speak any English. Beyond having nothing to do with the Chinese-American thoughts on the presidential race, the segment
Through exhaust.
power by someone with relative wealth and privilege. In this case,
You may
a
want an
American
abyssal.
with
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
poke fun
That's
at
what the
marginalized minority group.
Fiendish Codex is for.
PewDiePie's antics in the two
That's my
Fiverr
turret,
videos
though.
make the same argument, that the video was exploitative to the funny guys, the young Indian men who wrote down and held up Pewd's message in the video, as well as Fiverr Jesus. After the backlash to PewDiePie, all of these Fiverr accounts were suspended, and the funny guys actually had to make a video to apologize for taking part. In the video, we find out that their knowledge of English isn't that complete and that they didn't actually know what the term Jews meant, but as you watch the video, something even worse becomes clear. These guys really need the money from that Fiverr account. They live in a rural part of India, a country that the World Bank estimated in 2011 had about 276 million people living on $1.25 or less per day. The same thing happened with HD Jesus. The good news here is that after PewDiePie intervened, both accounts, the Fiverr Funny Guys and Jesus, were reinstated. But the way he made them take part in a joke that they didn't even realize they were making makes this whole thing feel a bit exploitative. And it didn't help that in the follow-up update, he started the video by saying,
It's PewDiePie again, the multi-millionaire that keeps complaining about stuff.
Then proceeded to complain about losing $500 in his quest to help the banned accounts.
I mean, it's great, but I want my $500 back.
Problem number 4, the joke itself is contradictory. At the end of the first video, PewDiePie expresses shock they made the sign at all, and then says that he couldn't be held responsible, which seems a bit tone deaf. You paid people across the world to do something that you considered shocking, and they did it. So, of course you're responsible. Own up to the joke. He also says that he's not proud of
Fucking
what the video
bitch.
contained, but if you really believe the message was particularly offensive,
You probably
he
didn't
still
need
had
to
the
ult.
power to not upload the video in the
I'd
first place.
rather be safe.
This is Sejuani.
Instead,
Back.
he did the complete opposite. He did numerous more.
Well, I have a blue buff now, so you can take yours. I'm gonna go ahead and head back and get my abyssal.
And again with Tyrone.
Kidlad did nothing wrong.
So his actions don't line up with what he's saying. It's easy to see how a lot of people would construe this incident as PewDiePie taking advantage of someone below him, in this case the Fiverr Funny Guys, to say something shocking and then hide behind the idea of, hey, I'm not the one who held up the sign. But it's also contradictory within PewDiePie's own videos. In his series YouTube High School, which satirizes online video trends, PewDiePie actively condemns online pranksters and their habit of doing awful things and then justifying their actions by saying, it's just a prank, bro.
Kind of would do that just for personal views and gains.
To quote from the song contained in that episode, But with the Fiverr situation, PewDiePie was basically just saying the same thing.
Yeah, no, that tower's gone.
It's just a joke. That's what makes it okay. The situation is parallel. Right down to the line in the song, I got you fired, just a prank, bro. As that's exactly what happened to the Fiverr accounts. And problem number 5, it stops being a joke when it has consequences outside of itself. Here are some other quote-unquote punchlines that have appeared on that sign. As much as I identify with PewDiePie's desire to have freedom over his message and to not be taken out of context, any one of those phrases isn't, quote, just a funny meme, as he claims at the end of his video.
Okay, so don't get the wrong idea. It was a funny meme, and I didn't think it would work, okay?
Because a meme is something that gets repeated and imitated. Dabbing, what's up, Legend 27, and although he says his actions aren't normalizing hate, science would disagree. Calling for the death of any group of people based on one shared trait would be the most dangerous meme out there. In 2001, the study Low Involvement Learning, Repetition in Coherence and Familiarity and Belief, super exciting title I know, found that repeated exposure to phrases gets people more likely to believe them. In 2009, Sparks, Pelletier, and Irvine published a study that showed how news outlets covered a story on UFOs greatly impacted whether viewers believed in the existence of UFOs. Another 2009 study found similar results for science TV news and how it affected people's scientific beliefs. And countless studies including perceived source variability versus familiarity, testing competing explanations for the truth of facts, try saying that one 10 times fast, have shown that repeated phrases are believed more. In other words, repeating the phrase Hitler did nothing wrong multiple times in multiple videos actually psychologically reinforces the idea that Hitler did nothing wrong.
Well, I saved Graves, but...
That is scientific fact. I could continue citing long, verbose, really boring scientific article titles, but long story short, as much as it sucks, words matter, Felix, especially when you're influencing an audience of 50 million. So, what's the solution? I would say that it's humor, but humor done right. Science has shown that humor is the most effective means of reaching those whose beliefs differ from our own. If we're able to laugh, then we're willing to listen. George Carlin forever changed the way societies look at taboo words with his 7 words you can't say on TV routine. Shows like Will and Grace and Modern Family portrayed comedic gay couples in mainstream media and educated while they entertained. When the entire Western world challenged one another to pour ice buckets over themselves in a silly gag, prompting those same individuals to learn about a not-so-sexy little-known disease,
you wanna get that,
it
Syndra?
was a game changer. According to Stephen Rosenfield, founder and
She
director
stays.
of the American
Yeah, I don't know where she is.
there's a pattern in stand-up comedy. It starts with certain groups or minorities, immigrants, blacks, women, old people, Jews, Muslims, gays, Arabs, Asians, being the target of stereotypical jokes. In response, people from the target group will start doing stand-up comedy themselves. When the audience sees one of these new comedians on stage talking about themselves with a sense of humor, they begin to recognize how dimensional the stereotyped group is. If they know how to make us laugh, there's a connection, a cultural crossover. The original stereotype will start breaking down, making it harder to perpetuate. End quote. We need people like PewDiePie to continue pushing boundaries, tackling taboo or risque topics, because humor is a force for good, the voice of generations. Laughing is a force for positive change. But with any form of comedy, sometimes a joke just doesn't go over well. George Carlin was banned for years because his joke was so edgy, and sometimes a joke just doesn't land. I mean, I've seen plenty of amateur stand-up comedy nights, and if you want to try not to cringe challenge, that is Ultimate Edition. And honestly, that's what happened with PewDiePie and the Fiverr videos. Why those were so offensive to so many people, while all his other past videos haven't been. What truly matters here is that risky humor needs to be humor done right. It needs to have a clear and thoughtful purpose, because that's when it's at its most powerful. In the words of humorist Mary Hirsch, humor is a rubber sword. It allows you to make a point without drawing blood. But hey, that's... Oh, and as a funny side note, dear everyone who is attacking Disney on Twitter for their decision to drop PewDiePie by posting stills of this old Donald Duck cartoon, saying that Disney is a hypocrite because they have anti-Semitic history, well, those images are from a World War II era propaganda cartoon in which Donald has a nightmare about being in Nazi Germany. It's not meant to be a good thing in the original cartoon. In other words, removing these images to prove Disney's anti-Semitic history is doing the exact same thing that the Wall Street Journal did to PewDiePie. You've taken it out of its context. And sure, Walt had all his issues and whatever, but in this instance, I just thought you'd all appreciate the irony. And hey, here's one final funny meme to leave you with. Death to all the subscribe buttons. Kill all the subscribe buttons by clicking right there on that horrendously offensive sign. And if you want even more reasons to hate the mainstream media, click right over here. That video will give you plenty of fodder for your Twitter rants. Now, if you'll excuse me, it is way past due to end this episode. Thank you all so much for sticking with me through what is gonna be a very long video, but remember, it's all just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
This isn't even my final form.
My name is Alex, and I'm a Swedish Jewish comedian. As such, I think I pretty much have the holy trinity when it comes to commenting on PewDiePie.
As a Swedish Jew, I'm offended that the Wall Street Journal calls PewDiePie an anti-Semite.
And a friend of mine thought I should add, and as a comedian, I'm offended by his attempt at comedy.
But I was, partly because I don't want to see both, but mostly because
PewDiePie is a professional comedian. He's been doing what he's doing for 6 years.
And in that capacity, he's been part in growing a new form for comedy, YouTube comedy. Sure, most YouTubers are not comedians. They're just simple joke creators who have really poor taste in comedy.
So they do shitty jokes like hacky generic, low-hanging fruit jokes of the wise dyslexia.
Which is a joke, right? And short. Shouldn't be more than 30 seconds. And somehow they still fail to make it fun by extending it to like 20 minutes. But some YouTubers are generally comedians. Just in a new form. And a new form requires a new form.
What offends me here is Wall Street Journal's lack of sense of humor.
Cutie. The
Don't apologize for a joke. That makes you a fag. See what I did there? That's a joke. You know why? Because it doesn't make you a homosexual. Such ridiculous. If you're
Well.
a man, that is.
Yeah, Morg and Syndra.
But that's a whole other discussion. And I know that is forbidden to say the word fag. And that is what makes it funny. When they call PewDiePie an anti-Semite, they devalue the word anti-Semite. He's not an anti-Semite.
Because in that case, everybody is. Now, I believe that everyone's an anti-Semite.
She's asking if she can take red.
I'm a Jew. I'm supposed to believe that everyone's an anti-Semite.
You're the Wall Street Journal. You're supposed to have some decorum. Being a Jew, I think I know the difference between ignorance, prejudice, and a willful act of anti-Semitism. And I'm telling you, you're calling the wrong YouTuber anti-Semitic. Do you want an example of an anti-Semitic YouTuber?
ISIS! I agree that a reaction shot isn't a very sophisticated
Ever really, but especially to seeing two Indian Jews dancing around with a sign that says death to all Jews. But it is a joke, obviously. Clips of people reacting to horrible, painful, or funny stuff is actually its own category on YouTube. It's quite popular. YouTubers even film themselves reacting to other clips. Some sort of meta clip watching. You're watching people watching clips. You know? You understand meta? Wall Street Journal? Meta? You know?
And now YouTube has pulled his channel. Congratulations, YouTube. You just killed your platform.
When Rupert Murdoch bought MySpace, he used it instead.
When Milo was banned on Twitter.
Fucking bitch!
And I know it might not be appropriate to bring up Milo just a few days after he was fired from practically everything just for promoting the love of children. I mean, who doesn't love children? That's what everybody loves children. See what I did there? That's a joke. And now YouTubers are probably going to have to see to another platform. You see, creators really, really care about freedom of expression.
And if they can't find it in your platform, they move on.
If you don't get that, it's because you're old.
Trust me.
PewDiePie is 4 or 5 generations old. For his generation, that trauma is not a living memory. It's a cultural trauma. His generation references
Yeah, that
the Holocaust
Syndra's strong.
all the time, and always as a negative.
Think Godwin's law.
To end all argument, and they always use it as a negative against something they don't like or appreciate or approve of. You know, things like, don't hold up doors for women, that's sexist. If you do that, you're like Hitler. Or don't pet puppies, that's speciesist.
Rose is probably
Cats
dead again.
get jealous. That's racist. You're like Hitler. It's not meant to be taken literally or seriously. In the modern era, Hitler has taken the place of the devil in the collective consciousness, and Auschwitz.
Maybe it has to do with guilt.
Or maybe his generation is just tired of getting drummed into those skulls that, you know, it must never happen again by us, the older generation, at the same time as they see it happening again and again in Burma, Syria, Mexico.
Sheltered.
Yep.
Maybe they get confused or just see through our hypocrisy.
That we don't practice what we preach.
In life, there are things you cannot change and did not cause, and still you must carry it.
I'm literally getting a Zanya's just as Zanya's the ult.
Death, disease, poverty, oppression.
There are only 3 ways to deal with these things. Try, pray, or lie. I choose to lie. Because it's funnier than trying or praying.
Good. Bitch died.
PewDiePie and the boys of his generation
aren't making fun of the Holocaust in spite of the taboo. They're making fun of the Holocaust because of the taboo. Because it is forbidden. That is what makes it funny.
And that's not anti-Semitism. It's comedy. It's
It's supposed to heal, not hurt. Hurting people is what real anti-Semites do. And apparently, the Wall Street Journal.
I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on me during this video, so I'm going to address this as if talking publicly and not directly to my audience, which is how I normally do. Hello, my name is Felix Schellberg, but you probably know me as... I've been making videos on YouTube for about the last 6 years. It's been a hobby.
Oh.
Extremely lucky, and way more successful than I could ever possibly have dreamt about. And as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, I make a substantial living from doing YouTube videos. And the reason why you know this is because that's all the media has ever acknowledged me for. Besides from now. I think most internet personalities, media generally, what this article shows more than anything, all media does not like internet personalities because they're scared of us. We have so much influence and social art, and I don't think they understand that's why they keep before then, I didn't really do interviews because of this. But I thought, hey, Wall Street Journal, that's a well-respected news outlet. That would be a great way for people to finally hear about my story. And maybe I'm a little biased, but I think my story is kind of interesting. Celebrating, but no. Which is funny because that's something I've never showed in Wall Street Journal, YouTube's biggest draw, plays earns $4 million. Money is really all I've ever made. I'm not saying this because of the example, but I really if there's anything I learned
Rip.
the media viciously attack people just to further themselves. And if you watch my channel closely, you can tell that it's something that I've really been fighting. I literally said the media is stupid, and that clickbait video is a problem.
Yeah. When we went in, we fucking spooked this Adwani. So she missmited it.
I get back as well. That's something that I noticed. I'm just there's not a producer out there. There's no writer. There's no camera guy. So what am I supposed to do about this? Well, I make fun of it. This year, I said to myself, I'm not going to keep smiling to the media. I'm going to be more open about things. And I knew there was going to be a price to pay. I thought, you know what? It's worth it. I've been successful. I can... Here we are. Here we are. Disney severs ties with YouTube star PewDiePie. An article came out from the Wall Street Journal, basically accusing me of being an asshole. I want to address the issue first, which I think is the whole.
Oh god, why is my ping that high?
Sign thing. If you've seen it, it's been everywhere. A lot of people. Generations of people arguing whether this is okay or not. But regardless of that, I just wanted to reiterate that just to show how stupid the website and how far you can push it. I'm sorry for the words that I used, as I know they offended people, and I admit that the joke itself went too far.
Oh.
There's a right way
I'm just gonna close that.
But I would consider myself a rookie comedian, and I've definitely
Yeah.
been but it's always been growing and
I just want out.
for me, and it's something that I
Yeah.
really learned to really
I voted yes.
and I think this
Some ping issues. Hmm.
One issue is we have no second tank.
Yeah.
So Wall Street Journal, a well-known, respected news outlet,
Yeah. It's never really had any good ganking options in the game, so.
I didn't quite get this. How is this news?
Didn't help that bot lane was always freaking pushed up super fucking hard.
Yeah, this Kate is very meh. She doesn't know how to position.
Obviously cornering them, forcing them to sever their ties with me. I fully understand that. And I don't want people to think that, oh, I can joke about whatever I want. It doesn't have to affect me. I'm PewDiePie. I understand.
Are you?
They used another video where I joke that the where I look technically they can use this as evidence as well. There is more. They took another video where I explained how the media is taking everything I say and do out of context and how damaging that is. And then they took the last part of that, which was a joke where I dressed up in a soldier outfit and again looking at Hitler's speech. They took that part, they ignored the part about me talking about context, and they took that part and put it out of context. They took parts where in my game other people created swastikas, and my title of that video is "Stop doing this." Stop doing this. That's basically what I said. Stop making swastikas in my game. They took that as evidence against me. This whole thing is not curse you. To try and decrease my influence and my economic.
Nope.
Are also very you watch literally hundreds of my videos. I hope you had fun by the way. Try and find evidence of possible for me to try and appear as my person. I know this sounds crazy. Like this is evidence that I'm not.
That's Sedge ult.
Shows it so clearly to me. So what have I done to deserve this? I made some jokes that people don't like. And you know what? If people don't like my jokes, I fully respect that. I fully understand. I acknowledge that I took things too far.
Fuck Syndra.
But the reaction and the outrage has been nothing but insanity. People
Oh, bullshit. I'm so close to the 3.
Which is something literally hundreds of people worked on. Is that fair? Is that worth celebrating? Over some jokes that you disagree with. J.K. Rowling is apparently not a fan of me. Again, it's fine to not agree with someone's sense of humor, but calling me a fascist, how is that helping me? Some people have been saying that these jokes are normalizing hatred. Regardless if that's true or not, spoilers, it's not, unless there's 53 million Nazis watching me for some reason. A personal attack like this to portray me as anti-Semitic is doing no one a favor. You're targeting some Swedish guy that tries to be funny. Most of the time, doesn't really go well. Very offensive. But he means well. But is there any hate in what I do? No, absolutely not. Personally, I think they are the ones normalizing hatred. Because there is actual hatred out there. I'm just pointing with my hand. Calm down. There's actual hatred out there. There's actual issues. Instead of celebrating my shogun, why don't we focus on some real issues?
I'm gonna take a break.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea.
Play some Isaac for a bit.
Nice try, Wall Street Journal. Try again, motherfuckers. Finally, I want to give the awards to everyone who supported me. It's been impressive. Thank you. Everyone in the YouTube community. Hey, it means a lot. Thank you. Now, the most appropriate.
Oh my god.
What?
This post from Reddit. All these anal stories brought back a funny memory. Brought back a funny story. Biloxi, Mississippi, Air Force in the early 2000s. My girlfriend at the time, super athletic, red-hairish girl with a great ass from years of playing soccer. This girl loved anal. First person I ever met that would ask for it. I'd be totally sober. We fucked on my